Hey guys, how's it going? It's JMW Tech, and today we're going to talk about 5 tech general items that you should not cheap out on. So to get us started first, we're going to talk about wireless chargers. I've had 3 wireless chargers in my day. First one being this cheap one that if you're with a company, they reach out to some generic manufacturer and they give you this generic wireless charger that probably 1,000 people have. This is the Solstice wireless charging pad. It worked for maybe a week and then it stopped working. It got hot when it was working, and after that it never worked ever right again. It just got really hot and then it just stopped working. And same thing with this Tech Theory one that I got from the dollar store. This cost $4, and this one actually worked for about 5 months before it stopped, but it was always very hot. Now this is an Anker one. It cost $30. This is the QI supported, so it supports fast charging among Android devices. I don't think it supports it for iPhones. Maybe with the 12, I'm not particularly sure on that. I know for mine, I have the XR, it doesn't. But it works good and it doesn't get that hot. Now, part of the reason why these don't last very long is because they use B-grade components. So either that or they make their own. So with brands like Anker, they reach out to these chip manufacturers and they get the best components. They get grade A grade. And then that leaves, the manufacturers will then price the cheaper components. They do the same thing with, I believe, processors for cheaper laptops and for phones as well. They sell the B grade chips for much cheaper. So cheaper brands like these guys, they buy up all the B grade chips that produce more noise and less efficiency. So you get more harmonics and stuff like that. So what that means is basically these build up a lot more heat. More heat reduces chip longevity. And that's only about the chips. That doesn't even talk about the design. This is going to have a better design from the ground up. So don't cheap out on the wireless charger. Get a good one right off the bat and you won't have to replace them. You cheap out on it, you're going to be replacing them every 6 months, and you're going to end up spending more than you would just buying a nice one right from the start. Number 2 is batteries. Now, in some cases, it's okay to get a little bit cheaper. I'm not talking, $2 a battery. I'm talking, for instance, these guys, this new Miawa brand, these are for the GoPro Hero 9, which I have above recording here. And these actually work great. But for this kit, it was about $40. And not actually that bad. Now, I'm not talking about not to buy those, because those work fine. What I'm talking about are these. And any battery like this off Amazon that you get like this, and it markets some ridiculously high amp hour amounts, capacity. These are terrible. I have an amp hour tester, and these have around 500 milliamp hours in them. They're advertised as 5,800. So either they accidentally put an extra 0 on every single battery they sold ever. And I'm not talking, I didn't do a high amperage draw. That was a low current draw. Sometimes you can get significantly higher results if you draw less current. Just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So, like I was saying, these batteries, don't buy these. High capacities are all lies. None of them have the rated capacity. What you need to get is name brand, Samsung, LG, stuff like that. They're going to cost you more, sure, but they're not going to be crap. These are crap. You look at the AA, AAA batteries, if you go really cheap rechargeable, they're going to be crap and they're going to die quickly. None of them work for long periods of time. So it's not worth going cheap with the batteries. Now, that's different when it comes to batteries like this for tailored devices. Let's say a GoPro, a Canon camera, something of that sorts where you get a cheaper battery. It's not super cheap. This is still $40 for 3 batteries. It's still $12 a battery. You can buy batteries for this for $3, $4. Those are going to be crap. There's a certain point where you're going to get decent value, and that's not at the manufacturer. If I were to buy GoPro brand batteries, I would be paying an arm and a leg. These are a much better value per battery, and they're very comparable. The difference is it's almost negligible. I don't find any difference between one of these and a GoPro battery. The only time there is a difference is when I'm snowmobiling and it's minus 30 outside. The GoPro one will stay on, whereas these ones will shut off. But in a normal temperature, there's no difference that I find personally. Now that'll differ from brand to brand, So it's important to look at the reviews, but certainly when it comes to individual batteries, you have to watch out and make sure you're getting a reputable brand. The price will be a bit higher, but it'll last more than twice the amount of time in terms of lifespan and charge. Moving on to number 3, we have cables and adapters. Now, I'm trying to make a point here. If you're getting an auxiliary cable, you're going to be hooking it up to your headphones, and it's going to be jumping around. Same thing with the USB cable. If you use it while you're in bed, you're going to be moving it around. In those cases, get a good name brand cable. Now, this is when it's okay to cheap out a little bit. Solid devices, solid adapters, I mean. There's no moving parts. It's easy. You plug it and that's it. And you don't have to worry about it. Now, it is also different when it comes to like HDMI cables. If it's a cable that you're not constantly moving it, you can go a little cheaper. But if you're constantly moving it around, definitely go for a higher quality. And in some cases, like really long extension cables, you want to make sure you get a good quality long extension cable. I'm talking USB extender, because they'll use smaller gauge wires in the cheaper cables. And then, so you're going to have less power efficiency and less amperage allowance on those cables. So if you're getting a longer cable, make sure you get a better one. Same thing for HDMI. Get a good brand, because you're going to get a worse signal. You're going to get more distortion on the other end. So that's important to note as well. Okay, so the 4th thing we have here is earbuds. Now, here I have a knockoff brand earbuds, and I have 2 genuine pairs of earbuds. The first one is the TWS i12. These are a supposedly one-to-one clone of the Apple headphones. These are absolutely terrible. The connectivity issues are insane. Now, these go for about $9. You can look here, there's a ton of cheap options. They sell them at Walmart Marketplace. I'm surprised, but I'm not at the same time, for $15. They also go on Amazon for around $20, because everyone has to make their markup. On Etsy here for $85. Don't buy off Etsy. Etsy is a scam. Almost everything on there is a sham, whether it be overpriced or you won't get your product what you pay for. Be very careful when you're on Etsy. AliExpress is better, but the quality is going to be crap, like whatever you buy. So be careful when you're buying on AliExpress. The connectivity issues with these are insane. I literally have to repair them every time I use them. That sucks. Don't buy these. Instead, if you're willing to spend a little bit more, for $69 you can get a pair of these JBL Free X's. These sound really good. They're heavy headphones. They're heavy, so they might droop down on your ear. I find it helps to put on this soft silicone pad here. I also put on some different earbud tips. These tips are actually a bit longer, so they stick in. I just got these off a pair of dollar store headphones. I bought the dollar store earbuds just for the tips, and I find they work much better than the included pair, and I get a much better experience. Or if you want, you could spend the extra hundreds of dollars and get the Apple ones. These sound good, and they're small, and they fit in your pocket. And if if you want that, then maybe go for something like these. But these are really good middle ground. I wish the case was smaller for this. I would have just kept these, but these don't. They're like, the case doesn't fit into my pocket. Like, I want to slip something into my coin pocket and do my business for the day. Something like this, you have to keep it in a backpack or something like that. Not the most portable. These are very portable, but they don't work. So don't get those. Instead, get something like this or real Apple ones. Moving on to the last topic is LED smart bulbs and light strips. This pair that I bought, you have to actually solder on yourself. It works great, but it gets really hot, these LEDs, and in some cases it melts the plastic away from it, so it could be a fire hazard. This smart light bulb I got off of eBay for about $5, and you can see the circuitry there. It works, but it makes a flicker sound, like a buzzing sound when I'm using it. And again, that has to do with the lower quality components and the B grade stock, stuff like that. Go middle ground when it comes to smart bulbs. You can get a nice one for $30, like Philips Hue, stuff like that. Don't cheap out to the point where you're spending $5 on eBay, because you're gonna end up regretting it, because they're either gonna make a buzzing sound or they're not gonna be bright. Okay, so now I actually want to talk about 2 things you should cheap out on. here's the first one, is phone cases. You can get these for $1 or $2 each, and they actually work. You get them, the molding on something like this isn't gonna be great. This is an OtterBox knockoff, but it fits pretty well, and it does protect your phone. Something like this fits great. And screen protectors, pack of 10 screen protectors for $7. You can't go wrong. And they last a little bit less, and they crack easier, which arguably may be a good thing. Because if these crack easier, the force is gonna get more so absorbed into this screen protector than your screen. So keep that in mind. Now, another thing is on Amazon, I can go here. On Amazon, you look here, these cheaper GoPro accessory kits, something like this. That's what I have here. I don't have all the pieces in front of me, but these actually are quite well designed, quite well built. I've had a couple like snap the pieces, but it's never sheared off. They work pretty well for what you get, and I wouldn't buy any like real OEM GoPro accessories based on the fact that these are almost the same and they work very well. I've never had any issues. So save yourself some money, get any of these cheaper GoPro accessories, just look at the reviews, and it works quite well. This one is this guy here, what is it, $23? This works awesome, and I would argue it's close to the same quality as the GoPro brand. You don't get the digital features like the GoPro one, but you're saving yourself, you know, more than double the price, or more than half, and it works great, almost the same, arguably. Stands like this work great too. Save yourself some money and get the cheaper accessory kit, because there's no point in wasting your money getting a name brand. That's where they get you. That's where these brands, GoPro, that's where all these brands get you, is the accessories. It costs pennies to make accessories like this. It's just plastic molding. So save yourself some money, get aftermarket accessories, and yeah, put the extra $1 or $2 in your pocket and just have fun. So that's it for this series on what not to cheap out on, and I guess a little bonus 2 things you should cheap out on. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe, and have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you.